Okay, team 2, you're all set right now, so let's start the questions.
Hi. The use case that the term definition that we have here on LightSuitCase is we have developed an application that not only is set of the persons, is also taking care of the mobility area, and also the third party folks from tour operators also to jump in and log into the system. And because I think if they will develop a mobility persons for as another service system for future application and the customers to plan the journey and ensure that it's questionable and inform them also. Right? So as we've gone through the requirements and we've added a few other questions that discuss with everyone of you, basically to understand the understanding of the system as well as probably to take away the web inputs in our system and what is going to be located also. Right? I think we have the first question, right? So, to begin with, the first thing that we have, I think, Rohit, do you want to go ahead? I just want to
Sure, yeah. Let me. Yeah.
Because the first question.
So Prashant, even before we get into the questions, I'm not sure if you're okay with that and if you're doing it with every team, but the way we discussed amongst the team was we are basically treating you as the customer or the client that we are building it for. So if you could take just 2 minutes and describe what you are expecting from the system, just a high level overview, and then we'll start with the questions. Does that make sense?
Sure, Rohit. So basically, it's a hospitality problem statement, right? So what we want to provide is a really new system, a reinvented system on how to handle this, basically. Yeah. So we want our customers to really feel comfortable in traveling. So we want to ensure that starting from booking of the system or browsing for the system to booking of the system to actually making sure in the tour our customers are very comfortable, right? And then we want to package this entire thing in a way that they can actually use that and reminisce about the particular tour. They can share it, in social networks, and also recommend additional tours. So we want these customers to come back to us, basically. Yeah. So we want that to be digitally enabled. We want to minimize cost on our agents and on our things while still able to provide the customers the best of the service. Yeah. So that's, as a client, that's our motto. We have we have premium customers and non-premium customers. Premium customers are very high-end customers wherein every single thing, from airline to even the clothes are taken care of, basically. So that's a special service. They fly on separate jets and things like that also. And like the problem statement explains, we own that. Yeah, we own individual jets and so on as well. So for the premium customers, we want to give that particular thing which we've said. They can select a particular dress or whatever they want to choose, and we'll arrange for that too. A complete service per se. Yeah. So that is in a nutshell our requirement.
Okay, got it. So with that, actually, right at the start, you said you were looking at reinventing and basically coming up with a new application and new kind of service for that matter, which is probably improved than what is already existing there. One of our basic questions actually around the requirement itself was if there are some components, because it also talks about so it says a new CEO has taken over and he is looking to improve the operational efficiency and costs and consolidating all the systems. So the question that we had was, are there some systems that we should assume are existing and we should try to integrate them, while there are others which we are trying to build new right from scratch. So is that distinction somewhere that we should go with, that some of them are existing and some of them are not? And if there is, then we want to clarify which ones are existing versus which are not.
Okay, so so basically you're still in the preliminary phase. So we're not going to be providing you the details of each individual instances or applications. Yeah. But as a CEO of the company, or as I am representing the client,
Correct.
I'm saying that we need to consolidate the systems. Now, does that mean you will create a single database? We don't know that actually. So we want your recommendation on that.
Yes,
We have multiple applications. We've grown through acquisitions. We have multiple applications, and a lot of different applications, a lot of different databases, and so on. We are globally distributed team. It is spread across the world actually, and each of them have separate systems basically. Yeah, we think that coming up with one single system might just not work, and it might be too expensive. But we would like your recommendation on that.
Understood. Okay. All right. And another thing was, while the consolidation, if we are also looking for more like a approach that we can provide you to for a phased upgrade or something of that sort. So maybe that's the way we need to plan it, rather than saying that okay, it's a whole new system right up front. So
we'll be happy if you can provide us a roadmap. Yeah. So
that's the way we are planning for it. Okay.
That'll be good.
All right. I think the next one is on security. Anand, you want to take that?
You mentioned, Prashant, that you already have some sort of system base and across the borders. So we'd like to understand what kind of, how typically the user currently log into our system, or is it something you take a completely new approach in terms of how we want to approach security as regards to how to do IDM and to caching and things like that?
So, like I said, there are multiple applications. I don't have a consolidated system. I have AD configured, multiple ADs configured. There are others ways of authentications too that we have with various different systems. We don't have an MDM implemented. We don't have a consolidated IAM in place. What we are looking for has to work across different applications, but still have to ensure that it is secure actually. Yeah? So we have concerns around our payments. We actually collect payments from our clients who are in various different vacation locations and all that. We just want to make sure that it is extra secure. Right? So, and we would like your recommendations on that. Ideally, single sign-on and things like that can be implemented if you can actually come up with a way to say that this is how you will consolidate the system and implement a single sign-on across our applications. Great, but we are not mandating any of it as part of the thing. So we are happy to take your recommendations on that.
Okay, makes sense. And would you want us to consider any specific examples over there that you have already in place, or we basically go with some of the usual assumptions in terms of what the existing applications have? I'm talking about the kind of identity systems they are using. Like you mentioned Active Directory for sure, so that is one variation we'll keep in mind. Are there any others specifically that you want us to keep in mind, or otherwise go with a generic assumption?
No, that was just an example. We have thought through federated identity, we've thought through open identities and other things. So we want your recommendations on that basically. Yeah. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense. So we'll keep it open and try to cover as many as possible, or be generic over there.
Yeah, and like it mentioned, there are various different applications, and the technology stack is quite diverse basically. So we have C, C++ applications, we have Java applications, we have Python, Perl applications, and all that. So we need a solution which works basically across our applications. So yeah, we would like we want the team to keep that in mind.
Sure. Makes sense. All right. Anand, anything else on this one? Okay. So next up is Lokesh. You had a question? Go ahead.
So the next question is based on so all the different organizations that are working with LightSuitCase. So the personas in those organizations, so they are different based on the different organizations, or they have almost the same set of personas.
What in particular are you concerned about actually? So from a overall sense, we have hundreds of personas, right? So we are a travel company. We have various different kinds of customers, and all of their comfort levels are all different. Basically, you can kind of generalize certain behavior and create personas out of them, but they're all different in a way. Our premium customers are again quite different actually. But as a client, what we want is utmost comfort for every single customer that we have. So did that answer your question, Lokesh?
So my question was basically not on the customer front, but the organization who are providing the services.
Yeah. So okay. So basically, I mentioned about so there are quite a bit of them, and so for example, we have various different destinations, and we have agents in those places. We have distributors. We have our own airlines. So basically, there are users on that. We have administrators. We have IT. We have it's a large enterprise basically, right? So we have quite a bit of distributed personas per se within the organization as well.
Right. Okay, that's perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, that's all right. Next one is on build versus buy. So the question is more around, do you have any existing policies from your IT side where you would like to buy any of the softwares that you are using versus you want to outsource services?
So
Yeah.
so basically that's our general IT principle. Our chief architect has recommended that, and the reason is there is a lot of tools out there which pretty much does some of the basic things that we need from a project standpoint. Yeah, so we definitely have some differentiators. We are looking for a lot of features which aren't there in with like anybody in the like nobody has built such an application. Yeah, but things like ticket booking, things like regular systems, could be ERP system, could be CMS systems, or could be digital asset management systems, or could be any kind of tool that would benefit us. We would want to see if we can leverage that. Yeah. So, for example, if there is a document management from a booking standpoint, yeah, we don't want to be building that ourselves if there is a very nice product outside. Or let's say if there is a CRM product out there, and if it can help us manage our customers better, can create their 360-degree profiles and things like that, I don't want to be building that. So we want this product to come out to the market as soon as possible, and we don't want to build everything from scratch. That's the idea.
Yes, makes sense, totally makes sense. So I think the question was a little more reversed. That's exactly the direction the team wants to take, but we were just confirming if you would have any concerns with outsourcing or buying third-party products. But that's good to know. All right. Next one is around user volume and more around generic non-functional requirements that you have. Are there any particular numbers, SLAs, or anything that you have in mind, especially around the user volume? How much you expect to support right off the cuff when you go into market, and any trends around how much they would grow in future that you know of?
We are a very large company essentially, and it is pretty much around the booking. What we have experienced is the holiday cycle during Christmas, during Thanksgiving and things like that. Our existing systems fail basically. Yeah. So performance, like emphasized in the problem statement as well, is very important.
Okay.
It's a global company. We are across multiple countries. So, million users is a norm to us basically. So, we're looking for a really performing system, and we also want to keep our infrastructure well optimized. We don't want to be building a supercomputer. Yeah, so we want to ensure that it scales accordingly. So we are expecting the solution to kind of address those concerns. We really don't want the infrastructure to take out all the money for the application. Yeah, so you should keep that in mind.
Makes sense. Guys, anything that you would like to add or ask apart from these, please chime in, okay? I'm just moving through the sheet right now. Okay. Okay, alright. So, Prashant, any particular legal or financial compliance standards? We will have some in our mind, keeping your hospitality industry in mind, but any specific ones that you wanted this application to follow, which are not mentioned in the spec?
Anything that you provide which is not mentioned in the problem statement is a bonus to you guys. So
Okay.
you can think it through. My primary concern from a problem statement point of view is the payment gateways actually. Yeah. So I want that to work in Sweden. I want it to work in Canada. I want to work that to work in India. I want to work in US. Yeah. So I want the payment gateway to work in every single country. So I want a solution that will ease my thing. So there are a few places which doesn't have net banking, a few places which doesn't accept credit cards the way US allows. So that compliance is very important.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
I think we are 3 minutes past, but I think we started late. So I'll take 2 more questions, and we'll then move on to the next team.
Alright. Let's choose which one we have. Are there any particular expected budget or timelines that you have defined for the project right now?
No, so for any of the problem statements, we are not going to constrain you with the budget. But that said, you don't have, so you have to keep the budget in mind, but there's no constraint for you per se. You can actually tell me that this solution might cost you like $1 million more, but it is so much better. I'm still open for it.
Got it, got it. So it's cost versus value as long as we're able to justify it.
Absolutely.
Okay, alright. So the last one would be around PI requirements. So you say that specifically talk about the CEO, CIO, any requirements or expectations that they have around any specific capabilities for reporting in the new system or any kind of business intelligence, because it is mentioned but at a very high level in the spec. So we wanted to know if there are any specific areas that are a problem to you today which these reports should target in solving.
So I want to know if a customer is dissatisfied, and if there are groups of customers that are dissatisfied, and so on basically, right? So
Okay.
nitty-gritty from a particular problem statement standpoint, or an issue a particular customer faces, I might not need it, but I want it to kind of aggregate it and tell me if there is something majorly wrong with the particular website maybe, or particular service that I'm providing. An airlines is down, or a particular destination has a cyclone coming along, and there are a lot of so there are more than 100 premium customers who are going there, and so on. So it is high level. You don't have to go to the lowest detail, but I want a API or I want a layer as part of your solution which gives me the capability. So you will have to choose a particular tool or come up with a solution to provide like basic reporting, and that would suffice. So maybe like a Tableau, for example, or SSRS, for example, or you can come up with a few things, and you'll have to justify that these are the things that we thought might help you best, or help the executives best, and the admins best, and this is what we're proposing.
Makes sense, Krishna. Makes sense.
Last question, yeah.
Actually, one follow-up on this one itself. On the services that we are saying, I understand that you have some requirements where the services are required to integrate with other applications. The services that we'll be exposing, are there any consumers outside of your own system that actually use your service, use your APIs as a service?
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So that's a good question. So as part of my network, I have distributors, I have travel agents, I have so many others who will be using that. Yeah. So basically, when I have my services, I not everything is provided by LightSuitCase. Yeah. So we have cruises, for example, and we also don't operate airlines in every single country. Yeah. So we would like the services to be either upfront support that or be extendable so that any of them could use it, and if there are even SDKs to be implemented, that would be good too actually. So that's not a mandatory, but we'll like your recommendation on that.
Okay, awesome. Makes sense. Totally makes sense.
Okay guys, so thank you so much, all the best, and your team folks, if one of you can come with the team, your t-shirt sizes, and please collect your t-shirts, that'll be great. And as part of this, please try and wear the t-shirts on the presentation day. It'll kind of
be there.
Yeah. So, and physically, if you can be physically present here on the presentation day, that'll be very good.
Makes sense. Totally makes sense.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you all, and all the best.
Thanks, Prashant.
Okay.
Thanks, Prashant.
Yeah. Thank you guys.